I hope you're all doing very well on this rather warm Friday. Hoping for some good news today in regards to Lucas Paqueta. We got some information last night in the early hours that the FA were going to finally reveal their findings on the Paqueta situation. So I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Also talk about Nayef Aguerd as well, a couple of other bits. But before I do, if you're new to the channel, do subscribe. It takes 2 seconds to do so. We really appreciate it. Also hit that like button. Helps us to reach an audience. So yeah, we do really appreciate you doing that. Before I get into the West Ham stuff, actually, a couple of things I want to say. Firstly, a really big thank you for the advice I received on my broadband. So I've had some issues with broadband recently. People might well know that this wildly interesting fact, which I'm sure you're all discussing quite regularly. But yeah, my broadband isn't great. And yeah, I just had so much really good feedback, really good advice. I even had people from OpenReach coming out and telling me, explaining how things work. So honestly, I really appreciate it. It's still ongoing. Things have improved actually, but I'll keep you posted. Don't worry. I know that you'll really want to know this, so don't worry. I'll give you an update tomorrow. Let you know how my broadband's getting on. But yeah, no, just want to say a big thank you for that. Also, another really big thank you for those who have, well, even if you haven't donated, but even if you just sending me best wishes in regards to the Thames hike that I'm doing. I'm doing this tomorrow. I'm walking a marathon in aid of Macmillan Cancer Care. I'm really, honestly, I couldn't be more chuffed with how people have responded to this and how people have donated. It's really unbelievable. So honestly, it's fantastic. I'm so pleased. So thank you very much. This is how we get on at the moment. This is my page over here. You can see over here, £1,236 raised. I was expecting to make 500. So I'm so pleased. And I guess this is another way of me coming forward and just saying, look, if it's anything anyone can offer, I would really appreciate it. I know that cancer is just such a terrible disease, and it affects us far more than it should in terms of society. It feels like everyone you speak to is deeply affected by cancer. I myself, our family, has been terribly affected by the disease in the last few years. It just seems to have been a real big problem for us. And yeah, so it felt like it was the right time for me to do something about it in terms of just giving something back. So yeah, look, if there's anything you can do, I'd really appreciate it. But of course, I do understand money's very tight, so don't feel like you don't feel like you're obliged to. If money's tight, please don't feel like you have to. But if there's anything you can donate, I'd really appreciate it. Links in the description below. And yeah, I'll be doing the walk tomorrow, so I'm going to be doing videos tomorrow while I'm doing the walk. So that's going to be quite interesting. But and hopefully some interesting videos as well. I was going to say that because it does feel like things are sort of happening, but we seem to be waiting on Lucas Paqueta and the situation with him now. I want to talk about that quickly, the Lucas Paqueta situation. So, as I say, last night it came about that we were finally going to get a verdict on the FA's findings of this case, which, let's be honest, has been an absolute disgrace. I'm disgusted with the FA and how they treated Lucas Paqueta and West Ham throughout this whole process. 2 years. 2 years this has been going on for, ever since it was announced that he was under investigation. And the fact is that we have been in this sort of limbo state for such a long time, all because they just can't get to the conclusion of this investigation. I just can't get over it's taken this long, and even down to the fact that after the hearing, we're talking nearly 2 months on from the conclusion of the hearing, they still have not been able to give an answer to it and the result to it, and left West Ham and the player massively in limbo. We saw the effects it had on Paqueta last season at home, wasn't it, to Spurs? But he basically broke down. He got a yellow card. You could see how much this has been weighing on him, and he's had time out from it. The stress of it all. I just feel so sorry for the player. Desperately hope it goes his way in terms of a verdict. Of course, it is what it is, but yeah, we are still. This is one of these videos, where I'm recording it, and a part of me knows, but in the back, well, a part of me feels in the back of my mind, it's going to be out of date really quickly. So it could well be I'm doing another video quite quickly after this talking about the verdict. But so I don't know. I'm just like yourselves. I have no insight into what's going on. I'm just kind of waiting. As far as we understand it, West Ham are likely to be informed today. Whether they're going to announce it, I don't know. I assume they will. I assume we will find out. But who knows? At this stage, as I record this, just on 4 o'clock on a Friday. That there's still no news at this stage. Yeah, I'm. Do you know what? I just think I think it'd be a relief all round for everybody, just to know where we stand, what's going on, and we can start planning as a club what we're going to do to handle it. I mean, that's the other thing. It's the effect it's had on West Ham as a football club. It's disgusting. And enough, not even considering what's happened to Paqueta and his life and his family and everything else, what they're going through, which is awful. But we don't even know whether we're going to have the player available. We don't know if we can sell him. We don't know anything. It's ridiculously poor from the FA how they've treated us. And I'll tell you what, if he's found innocent, I hope West Ham go all out. I'll tell you, and sue the FA for what they've done. I hope the player does the same. Yeah, really not happy about it, but it is what it is. It's nothing's changed. I'm not surprised by any of it. I even had that feeling, when they said, "Well, we're going to find out today, it'll probably be in the morning." I thought, I bet it isn't. I bet it gets dragged out as well. It's just like they can't wait to drag this out longer. Yeah, so that's where we are with that at this stage. Hopefully, we'll hear something a bit more on that in terms of later on, and finally get a bloody verdict on it. One thing as well I want to talk about is Nayef Aguerd. I've maintained throughout regards to Aguerd, I think he's a great player. I really liked him when he first arrived at West Ham. I thought he had a great attitude. I remember he did a video. I think he was speaking to Ogbonna at the time, and it was like, "Yeah, you're the new guy. You're coming to replace me," kind of thing. And sort of, and he seemed like such, I don't know, like really humble and wanted to be here. And I felt there would be a really long-term future of him, but that changed throughout pretty quickly, I think, with Aguerd. I think his commitment levels are questionable. I don't think he particularly liked working under David Moyes. I don't think he suited that system of being, in terms of being a very defensive team. I just don't think it worked, which is a shame. But not denying his ability, I think it was clear he didn't want to be here. I felt that his attitude towards the Africa Cup of Nations wasn't quite right. I didn't like the fact that he was basically not wanting to play for West Ham so he could stay fit for that tournament. I didn't like that. And then, of course, then he wanted to leave. We ended up sending him on loan. So I've got to be honest with you. Not being honest, people will know me watching this channel will know, if maybe you haven't seen me say this yet, but in terms of Aguerd, I've always just felt that he didn't want to be here. And when it came to last season, I felt that the loan worked perfectly for us. His stock levels were low. He's then gone away and he's got a lot of attention because of his performances abroad for Real Sociedad last season. So I just felt like it was a perfect loan. We could now sell him on, move on, and then get another defender in. So that's been my position throughout. I did say that, however, if it was that Aguerd was going to stay, it wasn't so much that Potter's pleased with him and he fits in the system. I want to know that the player wants to stay. I just want to know. I'm happy to have Aguerd stay at West Ham. There's no denying his ability and his quality, but does he want to be here? And I'm just not sold on that. I can't be sold on that at the moment because we haven't seen anything to suggest that he's really happy being here. Don't get me wrong. From what the footage I've seen of him, from what the club have put out this summer, he seems very happy. He's been chatting away, laughing around. I remember he was very much part of Diouf arriving at the club. He was sort of sitting with him at the dinner table. He was sort of showing him around. I thought he's a friendship there already. Obviously speaking the language, speaking French and stuff. I liked him. I thought it was very impressive, and I just felt like he doesn't seem a player that's not happy. But that's obviously need a bit more than that. Now, last night it was revealed that West Ham have changed his squad number. He was 27. He's been 27 since he's been at the club. Change it to number 5, which is, I think, a huge indication that he's going to be staying at the club this summer. I'm sorry, at this season. I cannot see a player taking a number 5 jersey and then with a view again, but I'm leaving in a couple of weeks. Why would you bother? Do you know what I mean? It suggests to me that there's been an agreement that he's going to stay. It looks like we're not going to sell him because we don't seem to be getting any offers. Although we keep getting all this interest from other clubs, we're not getting anything in terms of an offer. I've had a few people message me about it and say, "Oh, your favourite player's staying there," and all that. I just want to make it clear, right? Look, I've got no problem with Aguerd staying, but I need to know. I think us fans need to know where his head is at here. I think it would really help the situation. I think he needs to come out and not in that way, just come out and speak, maybe and talk about his ambitions for the club and wanting to stay and his thoughts and things, and maybe Potter as well. I think we just need to get that a bit clarified, because it's been very evident that he's wanted to leave. We know for a fact that he wasn't overly keen even to come back. I think he was hoping to get sold soonish. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether his family doesn't quite particularly like living in England, whether he's not quite happy in the Premier League. I have no idea. But I've never got that feeling that he's been very happy at West Ham. So I need convincing on this. I'm not going to just be like, fantastic, that's brilliant. If it was that he comes out and says, look, I'm delighted to be back, I'll tell you what I would like. I'd like it to be that Graham Potter's convinced him. I think that would be good as well. That'd be if that be the case, that he was unsure, but he's been spoken to about what his plans are for the team this season, ambitions for the football club, and hopefully that, if that is the case, then that would fill me with more confidence as well, and I'd be happier. But yeah, I think we do need to know what's gone on here. Because, as I say, it's not a case of rumours. It's been quite evident that Aguerd didn't want to be here. So let's if there has been a shift, which it appears there has, that in terms of him staying, then let's see that it's genuine, because the last thing we want is to find ourselves in the same position again, that we get to January, say, and then Aguerd's making noises he wants to leave. Of course, we've got the Africa Cup of Nations as well coming up, and I don't want the same scenario. I don't want him suddenly not wanting to play and all this kind of stuff. We need, if it is going to be that Aguerd's staying at West Ham, I want it to be a clean slate, start from afresh. It'd be like a new signing at West Ham and under Potter, and hopefully, I really hope that is the case. I'd be more than happy with that. I just think we need to hear it a bit more. I think, but I would certainly say that the number 5 switch is a big indication that he is staying. With regards to Lucas Paqueta as well, I just want to quickly touch on. People have asked me about what do I think in terms of his future at West Ham. I think he's leaving. I'm really sad to say I don't see Paqueta staying. I think if he's found innocent, I think that West Ham are going to sell him. I think that he wants to leave, and I totally get it. Like, from what he's been through, I think he would be eager to draw a line under this, start afresh, possibly go back to Brazil or maybe go to Saudi, something like that. That's what I think is going to happen here. Now, we've had an update from XWH employee. It's a brief update, I've got to be honest, in terms of things, because apparently a lot of what we're doing is waiting on this Paqueta situation, because that's going to kind of dictate a few things in terms of players we're going to go for. We know that talks are ongoing at the moment with Liverpool for Harvey Elliott. I know people keep telling me to stop talking about it, but that's all I keep getting told. The talks are still ongoing, and we're hoping to hopefully get an agreement soon. I did see some noise on Nayef Aguerd Brown a little while ago that a deal's been agreed. I don't know if that's the case. I haven't heard anything from EXO. Until I hear that, I'm not going to get too excited about it. And it looks like Hermansen is going to be I think it's going to be the next player that we go for, though. I think that's going to be a player that we're going to be putting a bid in for very soon. So Callum Wilson, again, I don't know. I think he's waiting on other offers. I think from what X has told us, that a deal is very close to him getting agreed for West Ham, but he is waiting on other things, waiting on Saudi. As I've made it clear in the last video, I'm not keen on the signing at all. I just don't like what it represents, to be honest. But let's wait and see if this one pans out. So that's where we are at the moment. I'm not going to... there's a couple of bits and pieces X has mentioned. We'll talk about that in another video. I think at the moment it's a case of now let's just wait and see what happens with the Paqueta situation. As far as I understand it, it looks like West Ham possibly could be notified about it today. It's whether they're then going to announce it. I imagine they will. I'd be surprised if West Ham get it and then decide to sit on it. But hopefully by the end of today, we'll find out what's going on with Paqueta. But as many things have been with this whole investigation, I would not be surprised if it drags on any further. But let's wait and see. Have a good one. I'll catch you later on. Come on, your ones.